Hey Cancer, welcome on into your November reading. I'm super excited to be here and be able to see kind of what the energy is going to look like for the next month. I'm going to start off with looking at what the priority of energy is in November. What are some of the challenges or obstacles that may be showing up for us in the month of November, and some advice on how to navigate November. Again, if you guys are new, my name is Ricky. I'm an evolutionary astrologer, and I also am a tarot reader. I offer both individual natal chart readings in evolutionary practices and individual tarot card readings. If you're interested in either, you can find all of that information in my bio or on my website. I also just started a Patreon in October offering more in-depth readings, how to read your chart, how to dive into exploring the tarot, doing your own readings, and just so much more. You can find all that information in the link in my bio. So let's get started, Cancer. Let's kind of see what's going on here. What is the priority of energy for us in the month of November? What we need to hear and see for our Cancers. So we're starting off with the Five of Cups in the reverse position, and we have our third eye in the reverse position. I'm just going to ask for one more energy to see what is the priority of energy. It has a lot to do with the heart center. You know, coincidentally for my Cancers, we also have, it almost feels like you have your heart chakra coming out for us. We have our crown and our third eye in the reverse position, and we have our Five of Cups in the reverse position. This feels at one level, lots of emotional healing coming into the table for my Cancers. This could be individuals that are really focusing on doing deeper emotional work, deeper emotional healing, opening up their heart, opening themselves up. It feels like it's tied to our future. It's almost like you either are preparing to do a healing journey in the month of November, or we're coming into November kind of feeling more free or feeling more open now that we kind of have gone through something. We're feeling more liberated now that something is gone. So I'm really just focusing on a lot of love and a lot of self-care. What's happening is with your third eye and your crown in the reverse position, it feels like a little disconnected. Perhaps we haven't been spending as much time, whether it's through meditation or prayer or other practices. It almost feels like we're disconnected from our intuition or from our ability to be able to foresee the future. It may feel like we've been so rooted in our emotional body that we haven't been able to kind of have foresight for what our future could have in store for us, which could feel like a challenge or a blockage. It could feel almost like, I just want a break. I just want to rest. I just need some R&R right now. And that's totally okay if that's the case. The challenge, though, coming into November is going to have a lot to do with being able to reconnect with your third eye, to be able to create a vision for yourself. What do you see for yourself in 2025? What is Spirit trying to communicate with you? It's reconnecting with those parts of yourself that I think is super important here. So let's go ahead and see what the challenge or the blockages would be in the month of November, what we need to see and hear for our Cancers. Yeah, it's the Magician in the reverse position. It's almost as if, are we disconnected from the part of ourselves that recognizes that you have everything that you need to be successful, to be happy, and to live a fulfilling life. Whenever we get the World card, I always, or not the World card, I apologize, the Magician card in the reverse position, I often like to say that this is the moment in where maybe we've forgotten that you do have everything you need inside of yourself. And perhaps because of what's happening in our heart centers, it almost feels like we need to come back into our own personal power. We need to remember that we are the magician in our own life and can manifest anything that we would like. But that of which you can manifest is a direct result in how much you trust yourself and recognize your own self-resource, and realizing that this is a journey where we're learning about our own internal security. It also feels like in the month of November, there's going to be a strong need for us to set firm boundaries in the month of November. Putting our foot down in certain situations or to certain people in which they have overstepped their lines, and it's time for them to respect your boundaries. Definitely in relationship to relationships. We have that Six of Swords and the Lovers in the reverse position. It makes me feel like someone's coming out of a tough relationship dynamic where their boundaries weren't respected, the person wasn't listening to them. It gives a lot of strong selfish energy on the other person's part, and they just didn't respect or listen to you. And it feels like we're closing this chapter, and it may feel very confusing because maybe you idealize this relationship and saw a future here, but it almost makes me feel like we need to cleanse this out because we're preparing for something new. It's almost like we can't see the future because this person was in our life. It's because they're not a part of your future. And it makes me feel like there's been an essence of disempowerment here as well. It's time to let this go, and it's time to heal our hearts so we can move forward. What is our advice for Cancer in the month of November? What is our advice for Cancer in November? Yeah, it feels like it's almost like, how can you set boundaries with people? Or how can you set boundaries with an ex, or if you're in a relationship, when you don't fully know yourself? This feels like a journey of you need to really focus on getting to understand yourself and knowing yourself enough, because once you know yourself, you would never let anyone cross your boundaries or your lines. And it feels like there is this strong energy that's here, that's very heavy, that's very negative, that's very toxic, almost narcissistic, that we need to be conscious of and be careful of. It feels like we're looking at strong themes with Gemini and Capricorn. And so I just feel like we're dealing with other individuals that are going through their own identity journeys. They have no idea what they've been through, could have major challenges or blockages or traumas with the father figure. Are we looking at people that are coming through or struggling through different forms of addictions and stuff like that? And is all that coming through the relationship? And so I think in November, this is about you not listening to temptations or feeling tempted to try to reconnect or rekindle or try to make something work when you know that you're not emotionally satisfied. And this person isn't going to be able to meet your emotional needs anyway because you're already exhausted and they haven't done it before. I'm just rolling my astrology dice just to see what we have for our Cancers, what we need to see for the month of November. Yeah, so we have Mercury. Mercury in Sagittarius. Ironically, that's where Mercury is today as I'm filming this, and this is going to be all about you speaking your truth, putting your foot down. I always say this, when Mercury in Sag can be very brash, speaking its truth, saying it how it is, and just getting it out there, being like, this is how it is, this is how it's going to be, and this is how I feel. It almost makes me feel like don't be attached to people's responses, say how you feel. While Mercury is in Sagittarius, I'd also be alert because Mercury is going to go retrograde this month in November. This may be a time frame where someone may be coming back, Cancers, that you want to be conscious of. What I would just say is it feels like you really have to be assertive in communicating and setting those boundaries. And it almost makes me feel like sometimes the best way to get a boundary across is through your own silence. So just keep that in mind. Again, if this is resonating with you, if you could please like, share, or follow, that would be fantastic. And if you'd like an individual tarot reading, all that information you can find in my bio. And the last thing is, if you'd like to join my Patreon community, all of that is in the link in my bio. Cancers, I hope you have an amazing month. And again, if you have any questions, drop them in the comments and I'd be happy to answer.